Practice just got over. We're going to be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly, what just took place on Lions practice, injury updates on the players. We got some good news there and a little bit of down news. That's what this video is all about, what occurred on the field today. Let's get this thing started. If you're a fan of the Lions, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Why is that? Because we're dropping Lions content every day. This is my second video. This is what we do. Let's get this video going. Dan Campbell spoke to me. He says, when asked by Lions on SI, Dan Campbell said that there have been more bad than good for second-year offensive lineman Giovanni Manu early in practice, but that he is encouraged by his performance in practice late last week and in preseason games against the Chargers. The Lions will start Hendon Hooker at quarterback for the first half of their Friday preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons. Just like we've been saying, Hendon Hooker will have an opportunity to show what he can do with different talent around him. So he'll start out with the preseason, it was supposed to be preseason game one, right? It's the one after the Hall of Fame game, week one preseason, and see what he can do with the likes of Isaac TeSlaa and a better offensive line, a little bit better talent. Can he actually move the football through the air? We know what he can do with his legs for Hendon Hooker. Can he move it through the air? And when it comes to Kyle Allen, can he just not throw an interception? Can he not? I don't know if that's possible. He's thrown a lot. It looks pretty darn bad. It's just what it's been right there. But other than that, hey, not too bad. Not too bad. Are you concerned after the Lions' preseason performance? Why, if you are concerned, and if you're not? Hey, I can't wait to hear you think. Let's get into injury updates. Dan Campbell, talking about some injuries here, says, talking about Taylor Decker, he will be out there individual group. Campbell said, don't see him doing any team right now, but he'll be back out moving forward. Dan Campbell continuing, he's probably go down for about a week. Got his ankle, talking about Dan Skipper a little bit. Shouldn't be long term, but he's going to need to lay off it for a bit here. Campbell talking about Terrion Arnold's hamstring. He'll be down for a little bit, but it's not major hamstring, Campbell said. This is a low grade. So low-grade injury, nothing serious for Terrion Arnold. That is great news. Terrion Arnold, it's a low-grade injury. He'll be back next week. Yahoo. Taylor Decker returns to the lineup. Yahoo. These are good things. Good for the Lions to have positive news. But not everything is positive, because Ennis Rakestraw went down in practice again today, and again he goes down. He inability to stay healthy so far as a Detroit Lion is amazing. He was injured a lot last year on a first day of practice. He got knocked out with a chest contusion, and he got injured again. The development of Ennis Rakestraw just keeps getting hurt with lack of practice and being on the field. It's got to do better than that. Got to do better than that. Hey, so let's go ahead and get into what we saw in practice today. The Lions' early part of practice had been marred by early mental errors with issues with alignment popping up at wide receiver position. So we're having issues at alignment right now, at least early on. This is kind of to be expected a little bit, right? You got somewhat of a new offense. Not everything is exactly the same. I'm sure the verbiage is a little bit different, and you're going to have some mix-up there. Hopefully this is good to go by week one. We want that to not have dumb issues like alignment to be happening in week one. We don't want to have flags that just shoot ourselves in the foot. So hopefully that can get a little bit better for that. You know, the defense served the defense served during the tackling drills, putting a physical performance against the offensive skill players. So we're getting very physical out there. That's a dang good thing. On the next possession, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. had a strong showing in one-on-one drills with their elite connection on full display. St. Brown bested Brian Branch on a particular rep that ignited the crowd. This is going to happen. It's so cool to watch. That's why I love training camp. You get to watch elite versus elite. Brian Branch versus Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's fun. That's fun because Brian Branch can pretty much do every position. He can play cornerback, inside and outside. He can play safety. Hell, he's been in linebacker position. He can pass rush. So him and St. Brown are going at it. And that's a great thing. Got good news here with Sione Vaki back on the field with an impressive pass blocking rep as he kept Zach Cunningham and Grant Stewart at bay on blitz to help generate big play for Kalif Raymond. This is really important for the Detroit Lions to have these running backs that can pass protect with the play action and everything like that. You need to have a running back that can protect Jared Goff when we're doing these deep plays. And so they want their wide receivers to block, and they want their running backs to block as well. And that's just the way that we operate, and it's a good thing. It's a great thing. Are you concerned about the Detroit Lions after the preseason performance against the Chargers? If you are concerned, Y for yes. If not, put N for no. Let's get in and continue on here. Jake Bates connected on all three of his attempts prior to the start of 7-on-7 period. Now he's had an up and down camp. He's missed a couple of kicks so far in camp, but he came back today and was good to go. That's what we needed out of Jake Bates. Not too much to worry about there, right? We kind of know what's going on. Jared Goff hits Kalif Raymond for a touchdown with DiCaprio Boodle in coverage. Now, Boodle was a guy who was on the field a lot last week in the Hall of Fame game. So he just got burned there. I don't even think he's gonna make the team. He could be a practice squad guy, but Kalif Raymond out there making noise. We haven't seen Kalif Raymond in a bit. We've been hearing about a lot of wide receivers, right? Isaac TeSlaa and Dominic, Lovett, and all these other guys, but we haven't heard about Kalif Raymond in a minute, so it's good that he's still out there getting the job done. We know he can do that. Kyle Allen connects on Dominic Lovett on a route that beat Eric Hallett, which drew the ire of Lions defensive coordinator Calvin Shepard. Calvin Shepard getting a little bit angry there, but good that Lovett beat Hallett. And the Lions offense got a little bit better on that specific play. Again, we've seen practices where the defense won. Now we've seen practices where the offense run. All of that. Now here's an interesting one that I didn't expect, and apparently it's true. Even after fumbling in preseason opener against the Chargers, linebacker Grant Stewart remains in the mix as one of the Lions' kick return options. Boy, oh boy, I'm not a big fan of that. I do believe that Kalif Raymond and there's other individuals that could take that spot, but they're having Grant Stewart do it. I'm not sure what I think about that. I don't think he's the guy I really want on kick returns. Not because he just straight up fumbled the ball, but I think there's other players that are a little bit better than him out there, personally, in my opinion, in regards to special teams. We have a lot of Now, I know they don't want to put Jameson Williams out there. They don't want to put St. Brown out there. They'll do that if they have to, right? If there's an injury or potentially in the playoffs. So that's why they're giving other individuals chances here. Grant Stewart, he's trying to make it in preseason as a kick returner. So that'll be interesting as it goes forward. Brian Branch had a big hit on tight end Shane Zylster during situational drills. Brian Branch is just an absolute monster. In the physicality of Lions practice, when you have individuals like Brian Branch leading the way, dropping the heat on players, it just ignites the whole team, and it brings everybody else up. And we love Brian Branch. We love what he does on the field. We love what he does when he smashes folks, when he's getting the interceptions, when he's sacking all over the field. Brian Branch is that guy. He just is that guy. Question for you again. This is the question for the day. Are you concerned about the Lions' preseason performance? If you are concerned, put Y in the comments. If you're not concerned, put a good old N. Jake Bates connected on 2 more field goals, one from 39 yards out and one from 49 yards out. So Jake Bates was getting it done today on the practice field. That's great. That's great. We talked about it earlier, how he was having issues earlier in the week, or early in this season, but that's not the case now. He's getting a little bit better there, and that's good for him. That's good for him. My takeaway from this is, again, this is another day where it's kind of a mixed bag, both offense and defense on the practice field. Some good plays. Again, flags. We got to stop with the flags. That's not good. Injuries to Ennis Rakestraw. I don't know what the Lions can do going forward with this guy. He just cannot stay healthy. Just cannot stay healthy. And now he's got injured and evaluated for a shoulder injury that he sustained in one-on-one tackling and drill. He fell on his left shoulder and struggled to get up. What does that mean? I don't know. When he hurt his chest the first day in practice, he acted like the world was ending of pain and ended up just being a chest contusion. Does he have what it takes to be a Detroit Lion? Can this guy stay healthy? We invested a second-round pick on him, and that's a high draft pick. We want to see what he can do. He's got to get on the field. I love that we got great depth there with Amon-Ra St. You know, we need him because Ennis Rakestraw right now just cannot stay healthy. But we need to see our second-round pick at some point. Get out there and make plays. He's got to get healthy at some point. We'll see whenever it happens or if it does happen. Give me your thoughts. With that said, folks, adios.